Hello student. Let's start our discussion. So in previous tutorial we have discussed the features of pandas. So in this tutorial we will discuss how pandas will be useful in programming. So we will know this by applying it. Okay, so we will start with the practical. So if you want to import any module into the Python, okay, then we can import it like this: import pandas. Now here, whenever you are importing any library or any module, okay, it is better you create an alias of that module. Okay, like this: import pandas spd. So whenever in future, if you want to require or if you want to use any library function of panda, okay, we can address that function using pd and dot. Okay, so otherwise what will happen, everywhere you have to write pandas. So clear with this. So uh, panda library is implemented using numpy. Okay, so it used the numpy library. So while working with pandas, we will also use the numpy. So import numpy is np. Okay, so it is not mandatory that every time you must create the alias of the any module. Okay, so if you want to use the module name, then also you can, but for conveniency we will use the alias. So we will execute it. That's it. Now let's start with the very simple example. So most of time, whenever you will try to get the data set from the internet, okay, you will get the data set in form of CSV file. So today we will focus on CSV file, how to read data from the CSV file. Now more data type we will discuss later on, but similar to this, you can also use, or you can also read the different data file or data set. So let's start the discussion. For storing any data set, we required one variable ds. Okay, ds is equals to pd dot, and if you will press tab, okay, so it will show you some suggestion. Okay, so let's say pd dot read underscore csv. So we will read data set into ds variable. Clear with this? Okay, here you can see we are getting the suggestion. So here is the list of all the file. For example, read clipboard, csv file, excel, feather, fwf, gbq, hdf, html file, then json file, org, then percute, pickle, sas, spss, sql query, query table, stata, table, option. So various files you can read into the panda using read function. Okay, so here we will use the read csv file. Now here, just for example, whatever dataset we will use, I will download the dataset from UCI dataset repository. Okay, so just simply go to the Google and type UCI dataset repository. Okay, and go to the website, and let's say we want to download the this data set, let's say artificial characters. Rather than this, let's go with some normal data set. Let me tell you that what is meaning of this data set. This data set will tell that which type of data are there into the data set, then for which purpose or for performing which task this dataset is created, for classification or recommended system. Okay, then the regression. So this is actually part of data science, so that we will discuss whenever we will learn Keras libraries. Then type of the attribute, categorical, integer, real. Okay, so that also we will discuss whenever we will go with the data science. Then instance means how many number of rows are there. Okay, then attribute, it represent the how many number of columns are there. Okay, so instances are represented using row, okay, and attributes are represented using column. And then there is here, okay, so if you want to retrieve the latest sample data set, then simply sort it, and then you will get it. Yes, so you can download any data set from here. Okay, so just let me give you an example. Bias correction of let's go with some classification data set. Let's say by concentration classes data set. Okay, so if you will click on this, then it will give us some description. Okay, then click on data folder. Okay, so then here you can see there is a CSV file. So this CSV file we will use as a data set. So you have to download that CSV file, okay, and from home folder you have to upload that CSV file. Okay, so here already I have uploaded some data set, for example air quality, then bias correction, okay, then Coursera data set is there, then summer Olympic medalist. So lots of different data sets are available with us. Okay, clear with this? So let's start our discussion that how to read the data set. So here we will try to read the Coursera data set. So Coursera dot CSV. Okay, so Coursera.csv, here it is. Okay, if you try to open it, then it will look like this. Here you can see meaning of CSV is comma separated value. Clear with this? Okay, so each row will specify some attribute, and as you can see in the file, attribute will be separated using comma. Clear with this? So for example, this row is having first attribute as some number, then second attribute as some string, then third is as a string, then fourth is again string, then next is integer, or sorry, float, then next is let's say string, and last one is also string. So string, or you can say here, if you look at the title, then this is a course title, then course organization, then course certificate type, then course rating, then course difficulty, course student enroll. So it may be possible that whatever data set you may download in any instance, some of the attribute might be missing, or in any row some column might be absent. So let's see, let's start with this. So let's read this file. Dataset equals to panda.read CSV, execute it. Okay, so what is the error which we are getting? File Coursera. Okay, so there is a mistake in spelling. Spelling is COURSE, Coursera, COURSE, Coursera. Yes, so now it is read properly. Let's try to execute it. Yes, here you can see. So this will show us some, there is first column that is unnamed, or it might be course ID. Then second column is let's say course title, course organization, then course certificate type, then course rating, course difficulty. Okay, how many students have enrolled into that course? Okay, so how it will display? It will Pandas library will display first some row. Okay, for example 1 2 3 and 4 row, then this dot represent the continuation of data, and then it will display some last last row, or some few some or few last rows. Okay, so whatever data set you have read, if you want to see it, then simply type the name of the data set and press enter. Now let us just try to understand that whenever we will work with this series of tutorial, which terminologies we are going to use. Here we will use two terminologies, okay, index and columns. So these represent the index 0 1 2 3 4 5, okay, 4 5, like total how many rows are there? 891 rows. Okay, so these rows we will represent it using index. or it can be represented using x is 0. X is 0, okay, and this column will be represented as a column, and it will be represented using x is equals to 1. Okay, so x is equals to 1. So let me write it in column. So row will be represented x is 0, okay, row, or you can say index, while column will be represented as a x is 1. Clear with this? Okay, so let's move forward. So I hope you are clear with this. So this row represent the index, and this represent the column, and rest of the things in this are the data set. So this is index, column, and all the remaining portion is data set. Now if any value is missing into the data set, okay, then it will be represented, okay, let's say if this value is not there, okay, Saint Petersburg State University, at that time it will be represented using NN. Okay, so NN means not number.